not conceding a try be the biggest positive to come out of that result?
It's up there. It would be up there with the positives, but I thought we were great in offence. The scoreline made it look like something in the end, but Salford were pretty tough to start with, and had a bit of bite about their defence, and we found it hard to break them down, I thought. But I have got to say that I don't think the tempo of the ruck helped either team. It was an erratic tempo, that some played the balls, some rucks were deemed not quick enough, therefore a team got penalised, and other rucks, which I thought were exactly the same, were deemed, you know, legal. So I think both teams struggled with the tempo of the game to start with, and then I thought the reading of that ruck got better in the second half, although still some decisions which I'd be really worried about, saying to my players, this is what you do when you play the ball, this is how to play it quick, this is what you're allowed to do. And but given that scenario, I thought I can't be pleased. We had a tough week last week, very flat in the first half, pretty strong in the second half. So to back up and put in a performance like that, pleased for the players, it's good.
Some nice variations as well. Joel Moon back, then Matt Parcell coming off the bench. You've got options now going into the semi-final.
Yes, Rob Burrow was very effective. The Matt Parcell came on and just timed it well. His inclusion into the game was great. I thought the pack were pretty dominant, and some of the outside backs showed what they can do. I've got to say, I thought Tommy Briscoe, who we all know, you all know where he's been this year and in certain games this year, that's not to be sniffed at. I hope everybody appreciates that type of performance under that amount of pressure. And every team kicks to him, and he's answered all the questions over the last, I don't know what, 2 months. And a pretty good offensive game as well. So he's not out the woods, Tommy. There's still blood in the water, and I'm sure teams will still kick to him. But what he's demonstrated, Tommy, is an unbelievable, strong character, personality, nerves of steel. And it's not to be sniffed at, though. Some other players would have crumbled. Some lesser, stronger characters would have crumbled and found answers somewhere else. And at no stage has he ever sought to shift the blame or come up with any other answers other than, I've just got to change it around. And that was his best game he'd had for us, I would say, for about 2 years.
Ashton Golan in competition with Jack Walker at fullback as well, made a couple of magnificent try-saving tackles on the line, put down a marker for next week. For sure. And to play fullback, you've got to have both sides of the game in order. And he was no slouch in offence as well, Ashton, but certainly some of that defensive stuff that he's got, it's given me a lot of things to think about. Good to have Brett Ferris back as well. Adds competition at the back row. For sure.
He got some game time there, and he'll be better than that, Brett. But it's good to have him back.
You finished the league season here with 13 wins out of 15. You must be delighted with that after such a tough year last year.
At Headingley?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. I don't think we've lost 2 league games on the bounce, have we? I know we lost a league and a Challenge Cup game, but our reaction to adversity this year has been great, and they haven't taken much coaching. And our form at home and our resilience, that's not form really, our resilience and our strength of character at home has been great. It's been good to see.
Nice to see Rob and Danny rolling back those
for that first try, wasn't it? Yeah. It did look like about 10-15 years ago, didn't it? So Magsy's, Rob, again, as I've already said, Rob was very effective, and runs brave, Rob, as well. He's not just running into gaps and trying to skirt around people. He's actually challenging the defenders in front of him and copping for a bust nose and some fat lips every now and again. But Magsy's still an extremely good halfback, and I challenge any halfback to come up with as many good options as he does when he's got ball in hand. And you give him a scenario of defenders opposite him, whether it's he's attacking an area where they should have 4 defenders but they've only got 2, or you know, he's got an option to kick and an option to pass and maybe an option to run. Invariably he takes the right option. I don't think there's an half-back in the comp who's still got that as good as he has.
Right, in terms of Parcell, obviously when Seguiaro left, you had to move quickly to sign him. Could you foresee that he'd do as well as he has done? I think he's got 19 tries.
Yeah, he's a strong lad. When you look at him, he's probably the most un-rugby league player looking like bloke I've ever seen. He looks like a student. And I keep mistaking him for all these young kids that knock about Beckett's, but he's a strong bugger. And that try that he scored there, you know, that wasn't a defensive misread from Salford. He actually barged over there, so he looks as strong as Polly Ayton was, who was a massively strong fella. But his fitness and his speed is he's been great.
Is he in the running for Man of Steel, do you think? He's going to get nominated pretty soon. You think he's in contention?
Well, you'd have a better read than that, wouldn't you?
Just asking your opinion. Would you put him up there?
Give us your opinion first.
He probably might make the shortlist, might be top 3 perhaps, with Hardacre and Gale perhaps.
Yeah. Listen, I think he should be on the shortlist. He's been one of our standout players. And, you know, can't remember the criteria for Man of Steel, but pretty much I think it's the philosophy is it's got to be a standout player that's affected the outcome of teams. And, you know, would you have won of many games had he not played, that type of question. And I think he fills most of that criteria. He's been very good.